Welcome to Art of Officiating's Weekly Dozen, comprising plays through September 6th of 2025. I'm Mark Bradley. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. These videos are from Colorado Games, so I'll reference the Colorado 5-Person Mechanics Manual and Colorado Rules Interpretations and Modifications. Please consult your state's Mechanics Manual and Rules Interpretations if I say something that doesn't match what you do in your state. I'd like to begin the Weekly Dozen video with a "This is what right looks like" clip. We'll begin with Team A breaking the huddle, which is a shift. Team A aims to snap the ball quickly when all 11 players are set. The ball is on the A23. Let's focus on A2. He unfortunately lines up 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage on the A25. There's really no way for the head linesman to practice preventative officiating to yell to A2 to move back. We can't do that when the snap is imminent. This is perfect. Toss the flag, blow a loud "look at me" whistle, signal stop the clock, and hustle onto the field. By the way, this is why I like using a lanyard whistle. The wing can blow the whistle and immediately give the stop the clock signal. We don't want a one-arm signal, which sometimes happens when we use a finger whistle. If you're a wing and you throw a flag for a false start or encroachment, make sure you hustle onto the field at the referee. If the opposite wing also has a flag, run at the opposite wing to compare flags before reporting the foul to the referee. This is an 8-man game. The home team previously played 11-man football and then moved to 8-man, so you'll see the sideline is close to the numbers and everyone appears to be on the field. In this play, B11 steps into the neutral zone. The head linesman could try to yell to B11 to step back, but the snap happens immediately after he encroaches. This position is just inches from the receiver, and it gives him an unfair advantage, and the head linesman should shut this play down and throw a flag. The head linesman may have decided B11's position did not give him an unfair advantage. That's his judgment. With some fouls, like a takedown hold, we need to flag the foul, even if we believe it doesn't impact the play, because if we let it go, our credibility will take a hit. Notice this umpire keeps the whistle in his mouth for the entire play. Umpires should only have the whistle in their mouths to signal a snap infraction or false start. When the ball is legally snapped, the umpire should spit out his whistle and use his voice. Umpires don't mark forward progress, so they could go an entire game without blowing their whistles. If you run around with the whistle in your mouth, you are risking an inadvertent whistle. I love how the line judge shifts his focus to his initial responsibility when his tackle retreats to pass block. Then when the quarterback runs a draw, the line judge shifts focus back to the runner and hustles to mark forward progress. Here's another demonstration of superior mechanics by the head linesman. It's 3rd down and 1 yard to go from the A22 with 52 seconds remaining in the first half. The head linesman steps to the line to gain at the snap. His eyes are immediately on the money line. He then sells his spot by pinching hard to the ball. You can read his lips. He's yelling "short" and fourth down," and he shows a fist to indicate it is now 4th down. The umpire hands the ball to the head linesman to spot the ball. The head linesman spots the ball a half yard short of the line to gain. The head linesman knew the location of the line to gain. He stepped to the line to gain at the snap, and then he spotted the ball short of the line to gain. If you judge the forward progress spot is short of the line to gain, spot the ball short of the line to gain. If you want it to be a first down beyond the line to gain, spot the ball beyond the line to gain. It's much easier to do that on a turf field or a well-marked grass field. This is one of the most important mechanics for wings. Get to the line to gain before the ball, hustle onto the field, ask for the ball, and spot the ball. This really enhances the credibility of the wing spot. The ball is snapped on the B49. The runner goes toward the head linesman's side of the field. Notice how the head linesman steps back 2 yards to the A49 to safely let the runner pass before trailing the play. I like how the umpire moves down the field and keeps his eyes on the players behind the ball. Notice how the back judge hustles to the goal line. He has earned the right to make the call. He rules the runner is downed on the B half-yard line. This was the correct call. Ball is not across the goal line when the runner's leg hits the ground. The back judge steps onto the field of play, kills the clock, and marks forward progress. This action is not big enough to warrant a flag. It's well behind the play, and the block is unnecessary, but it is not unnecessary roughness. I would hate a flag here that could potentially bring the ball back. The wings should instruct their ball runners to stay out of the restricted area. I absolutely love how this ball runner stays with the line judge. I would just like him to be outside of the restricted area so the wing doesn't accidentally collide with him. Here's the first scrimmage play of the game. The formation is strong to the head linesman's side, so the back judge's passing play initial responsibilities are the 2 outside receivers on the linesman's side. The linesman has the inside receiver, and the line judge has the lone receiver on his side. The far right receiver goes in motion. When he passes the left tackle, the passing play initial responsibilities completely change. The linesman now has the 2 receivers on his side, the line judge picks up the receiver in motion, and the back judge picks up the receiver on the line judge's side. With Colorado mechanics, the wing that has the player in motion going away from him will rule on the legality of the motion. I know that's different in some states. When the referee spoke with the head coach before the game, he asked, "Do you have any special plays or formations that may take us by surprise?" The coach said no. I hate it when that happens. The umpire is not necessarily looking for ineligible players illegally downfield, and he's not going to try to get to the line of scrimmage to rule on where the pass was released and caught. This is a special play. It was the first scrimmage play of the game, and the coach should have informed the crew of this play so that they could properly officiate the action. Let's look at A71, the left guard. He's a half yard beyond the expanded neutral zone when the pass is released. I would not flag him for that. We're not looking for reasons to throw our flags. He didn't gain an advantage by being a half yard too far downfield. Let's now look at A11. He begins to block B17 before the ball is caught. In my judgment, this is offensive pass interference. A11 is interfering with B17's opportunity to move toward the ball. The line judge should be looking at blocks ahead of the runner, so when the pass crosses the neutral zone, he should have a flag on that block. Do you see anything wrong with A7, the halfback's uniform? His play card cannot be on his waist. In some of my games, I've gone quite a long time without noticing uniform violations. That's why during the pregame warm-ups, it's a good idea to look at each player's uniform to see if they are legally equipped. Here's the same team from the first video, the team that liked to snap the ball quickly. Rule 726 says after a huddle or shift, all players of A shall come to an absolute stop and shall remain stationary simultaneously for at least 1 second before the snap. In my judgment, A28 is not stationary for at least 1 second before the snap. How many teammate players do you count in the backfield? There should be 2 flags on this play, one for an illegal shift and one for an illegal formation. Team B's coach would decline the 2 penalties and take the result of the play. Here is a scrimmage kick formation. You can probably immediately discern the problem here. The ball is snapped on the K42. How many Team K players are legally on the line of scrimmage with their head or foot breaking the imaginary plane through the waist of the snapper? Maybe 3 if you want to give some the benefit of the doubt. Team K is getting an unfair advantage because the linemen have an extra yard to retreat and block the Team R rushers. In this play, there are 3 players at the K35 and the punter is at the K28. Team K is not trying to confuse Team R and run an eligible receiver from the middle of the formation. But hypothetically, if one or more of those personal protectors were standing near the line of scrimmage, Team R could not clearly determine which players were on the line and which players were in the backfield. Punchline is the head linesman needs to communicate with his sideline to clean up this formation. If the wings choose to flag this, and I wouldn't have an issue with the flag here, it would be a live ball foul, and Team R could elect to have Team K replay the down, or they could add 5 yards to the succeeding spot in accordance with Rule 10.4.2 exception. Here's another example of passing play keys that change following a shift. Prior to the shift, the formation is balanced. Therefore, the head linesman has the 2 outside receivers on his side. The back judge has the outside receiver on the line judge's side, and the line judge has the inside receiver on his side. A5 shifts. Now the strength is to the head linesman's side. The back judge now must look across the field to the 2 outside receivers on the head linesman's side. This is why I think the back judge needs to start in the middle of the field and not on a hash. The linesman now has the 1 receiver on his side, and the line judge now has the 2 receivers on his side. The pass is caught behind the line of scrimmage, so A13 can legally block downfield before the ball is caught. Let's now look at A13's block. Is this demonstrated restriction at the point of attack that impacts the play? In my judgment, this is an obvious hold. Even if we don't have the takedown you see in the video, it's a foul. A13 gets his arm outside the defender's torso and restricts him from moving inside to make the tackle. In my judgment, this is a foul that screams. In this video, I've merged 2 huddle clips into one continuous clip. We'll first witness the foul, and then we'll view penalty reporting and enforcement. This formation is strong to the line judge's side, so the back judge has the outside receiver on that side, and the line judge has the inside receiver. The head linesman has the tight end who is beside the left tackle. This is a reminder to the wings to look at the formation and identify the tight end's location. He's an eligible receiver, and someone needs to keep an eye on him. At the snap, 3 receivers run downfield. Notice both wings are looking into the offensive backfield. That leaves only the back judge to view the three receivers, who is looking for restriction as the receivers run their routes. The back judge can't simultaneously look at his initial responsibility, the outside receiver on the line judge's side, and the tight end. The wings need to identify their passing play initial responsibilities or keys pre-snap, and then they need to actually watch those players as they run their pass routes. We can't have three sets of eyes looking at the quarterback. Wings, you need to keep your eyes out of the backfield. I've posted a passing play keys video in the mechanics folder on the Art of Officiating website. If you're a wing or a back judge, I recommend you watch the video. Now we'll focus on A1, the tailback in this formation. He clearly blocks the defender below the waist. The head linesman throws a flag. This is an example of the wrong official making the right call. The referee should have this flag, not the head linesman, because the linesman should be looking downfield at his passing play key. Now let's watch the rest of the clip. I like how the referee hustles to the linesman to hear his foul report. The linesman could hustle a little bit more to reach the referee. After the explanation, the referee gives the blocking below the waist signal, which is signal 40. The hand should be above the knees. I like to give the signal in the middle of the thighs. The referee then has further discussion with the linesman and gives a second preliminary signal. It's interesting how Team A's coach is complaining about the flag. This is as obvious a block below the waist as I've seen. He then checks with Team B's head coach to determine if he wants to enforce the penalty for the blocking below the waist foul, or if he wants to decline the penalty and take the result of the play. He then signals the foul to the press box. Now watch the penalty enforcement. The crew marks off 10 yards instead of 15. Penalty enforcement is a crew responsibility, and everyone needs to pay attention and know the enforcement yardages. The line judge needs to stay at the spot where enforcement begins until enforcement is complete. If someone realizes they should have marched off 15 yards instead of 10, if and when the box moves, could the crew recover? I suppose they could just add 5 yards to the initial 10. There are multiple teaching points in this video. You can probably guess the first one. It's an eye discipline principle during a passing play. The formation is balanced, so the head linesman passing play initial responsibilities, or keys, are the two receivers on his side. At the snap, the linesman looks into the backfield and doesn't track the two receivers who are 10 yards downfield. I know it's difficult because there's a smudge exactly where the head linesman is standing, but he is looking at the quarterback. The back judge's passing play initial responsibility is A7 on the line judge's side. So he is not observing the two receivers on the opposite side of the field, and if the head linesman isn't looking at them, then no one's looking at them. It's very difficult for the head linesman to officiate this play. It's a limitation of having only 5 officials on the field. The head linesman has the quarterback running at him while his keys are running routes downfield. He must focus primarily on his passing play keys, but he must also glance back at the quarterback to keep track of the quarterback's position and proximity to the sideline so he doesn't get run over. The wing doesn't have quarterback responsibility until he crosses the line of scrimmage. If the quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage, the wing can pick him up. The wing will also have help from the referee, who hopefully is run toward the sideline and is able to help if the quarterback runs out of bounds beyond the line of scrimmage. If the quarterback runs out of bounds, that forward progress spot is not as important as the line to gain. In this play, the quarterback throws a legal forward pass and the receiver catches the ball beyond the line to gain. Catch is at the B41.5, which is beyond the line to gain. The head linesman marks forward progress at the B42.5, short of the line to gain. The line judge's initial responsibility, A4, runs toward the head linesman's side of the field, giving the line judge a clear look at the catch on the opposite sideline. If the line judge thinks he can help, he should square off at the B41.5 and sell that forward progress spot as a cross-field mechanic. As I said before, this is a tough one for the head linesman. We don't employ video review in high school. In college or the NFL, maybe this play is reviewed and the ruling changed. We don't have that luxury. Crew is prepared for an onside kick. 2 officials are on the K40 and 2 officials are at midfield. All officials should have a beanbag in hand to prepare to mark the spot of first touching. This is not a pop-up kick. Rule 224.10 says a pop-up kick is a free kick in which the kicker drives the ball immediately into the ground. The ball strikes the ground once and goes into the air in the manner of a ball kicked directly off the tee. The kicker drives the ball into the ground, but the ball does not go into the air in the manner of a ball kicked directly off the tee. After the initial kick driven into the ground, the ball's height is below head level. On the second bounce, the ball goes high in the air. This is a perfectly executed onside kick. Now let's take a look at 2 blocks. The first is by a Team K player. Rule 937 says no member of the kicking team shall initiate contact to an opponent on a free kick until the legal kick has traveled 10 yards, the kicking team is eligible to recover the free kicked ball, or the receiving team initiates a block within the neutral zone. The ball has touched the ground, but it has not yet traveled 10 yards, so Team K cannot block Team R. K33's block is a foul. Let's rewind and take a look at a second block. Is R7's block a foul? In my judgment, the answer is yes. Rule 2310 says a blindside block is a block against an opponent other than the runner who does not see the blocker approaching. Rule 943N says it is illegal personal contact to execute a blindside block outside of the free blocking zone with forceful contact unless initiated with open hands. In my judgment, this block was not initiated with open hands. It appears R7 strikes K25 with the top of his helmet. I have the benefit of running this video in slow motion, so I can see the helmet contact. Even if I didn't see the helmet contact, I would still flag this for a blindside block. Now let's look at the officiating crew. For some reason, the official at midfield gives up his position on the important money line, the midfield line. He's not staring straight down the line, so he can no longer determine if the ball travels the requisite 10 yards. It's hard to tell, but does the ball strike the white of the 50-yard line, or does it bounce just short of the 50? K15 recovers the ball, and Team K next snaps the ball from the K49, so the covering official must have decided the ball did strike the 50-yard line and bounce back. I'd love to have him remain on the 50-yard line to add credibility to his ruling. Hypothetically, if the crew had tossed a flag for both blocks, how would we enforce the penalties? For the referee, the signal for the illegal block by K33 is signal 43, the same signal we use for illegal block in the back. This is not a scrimmage kick, so PSK rules do not apply, and R cannot decline K's foul and enforce their own. And the clean hands rule does not apply, so the fouls would offset and K would re-kick the ball. I must apologize for the quality of this final clip, but it has an important teaching point. We're back to the 8-man game. A5 shifts and sets. The player in the slot on the head linesman's side makes a slight adjustment and is not set for 1 second before the snap. I rule this is a foul, but I don't think it's worthy of a flag. Player did not simulate a snap, and he did not gain an unfair advantage with his forward movement. He flagged elephants and not ants. Let's evaluate B10's contact on the receiver. Rule 232.16 identifies a receiver attempting to catch a pass as a defenseless player. It says a player who initiates contact against the defenseless player is responsible for making legal contact. Rule 943P provides clarity on what is legal contact. Forceful contact against the defenseless player must be incidental contact as a result of making a play on the ball, initiated with open hands, or an attempt to tackle by wrapping arms around the receiver. What is your judgment on this play? Does B10's contact satisfy any of the 3 caveats, or is he just delivering a blow? In my judgment, this is a foul. Defenders are no longer allowed to slam into a receiver to try to break up a pass. They must make a play on the ball, use open hands, or wrap up arms around the receiver. With anything else, consider a flag for illegal personal contact. That's your weekly dozen for games through September 6th of 2025. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the weekly dozen. And please invite other officials to do the same. I also invite you to visit artofofficiating.com to view more high school football officiating content. If you encounter any interesting plays during your season, I'd love to see them. You can send them to me at contact@artofofficiating.com.